How much does a real estate license cost? Welcome to part 2 of this video series about getting a real estate license for investors. On this video, I'm going to answer that question as well as the 4-step process to get your license and 5 ongoing fees that you need to be aware of. And be sure to stay to the end of this video because I'm going to show you one simple hack to easily cover the cost of getting your license without doing any real estate sales. All of that and more coming up.
For a limited time, you can get a free copy of Jerry Norton's Quick Start Kit with everything you need to flip your first house in 30 days or less. Download it now at myquickstartkit.com.
If you're new here to this channel, I'm Jerry Norton with FlippingMastery.com, and this channel is all about ways to help you make money wholesaling and flipping real estate so you can live your dream life. Be sure to subscribe and turn on the bell notifications so you don't miss new videos. Since my channel focuses on wholesaling and flipping, this video is specifically intended for wholesalers and flippers who are interested in getting licensed, but honestly, this will be beneficial to anyone wanting to get their real estate license. If you are a wholesaler and or flipper and you missed part 1 of this video series, be sure to watch that. I'll put a link to that video in the description box below so you can watch it later. On that video, I talked about the new law recently passed in Illinois that requires wholesalers and flippers to get licensed and how I believe regulation is coming to all of the states in the near future and what you should do about it. On this video, we're going to focus on what you need to do to get licensed, the process as well as the costs associated with getting and maintaining your license. First of all, it's important to remember that real estate licensing is governed at the state level, so each state will have slightly different criteria. Now, I'm going to do my best to cover the basics of what's required, but it's up to you to find out specifically what's required in your state. So let me give the big picture of real estate licensure and then get down into the details. Although called different things, there are 2 basic levels of real estate licensing. The first level is often referred to as a real estate salesperson. Now, this license allows you to be a real estate agent, or what most people incorrectly refer to as a realtor. Now, anyone can get this license if you meet some basic requirements, such as be at least 18 years old and have a high school diploma or equivalent. In most states, a real estate salesperson must be sponsored by a real estate broker, or sometimes called a managing broker. Now, in this regard, a managing broker is the second level of licensure and basically requires experience first as a salesperson before you can get a managing broker's license. For example, in the state of Illinois, to qualify for a managing broker's license, you have to have an active real estate license for 2 of the past 3 years. But for this video, we're going to solely focus on getting your regular real estate license. So, what do you have to do to get your license and how much does it cost? There are actually 4 steps. Step 1 is to meet the state education requirements. The state requires you enroll and pass a mandatory pre-licensing class, meaning you can't take the state exam if you don't take the class. In some states, it's only a 40-hour class like Michigan, and in other states, it's much more. For example, in Illinois, it's a 90-hour class, and in California, it's a 135-hour class. So check your state. You can physically take the class with a live instructor, or most states allow and offer an online class. Now, I highly recommend taking the class in person. That's what I did, and it forced me to show up and pay attention and take it seriously. This class will teach you everything from forms of ownership, laws, taxes and liens, contracts, fair housing and ethical practices, closing transactions, and all kinds of other real estate related information. Some of it will be extremely helpful as a real estate investor, and some of it you will never use in your life, sort of like your high school diploma or your college degree. But let's not talk about that. The pre-licensing class is typically $500 or so. Once you've taken and passed the required pre-licensing class in your state, step 2 is the state exam. Now, if you took the class seriously, did the homework and studied, you should easily pass the state exam. If you don't pass the first time, don't worry. Usually you can take it a few times. In the state of Illinois, you can retake the exam up to 3 times. If you don't pass on the 4th attempt, you have to retake the pre-licensing class again. Now, the fee for the exam is usually like $50 to $100. Once you've passed the state exam, you need to find a managing broker to sponsor you. In other words, you'll hang your license and work under a managing broker. Now, you can go with a big name company like Century 21, Remax, or Keller Williams, or a mom and pop brokerage, or anything in between. Now keep in mind, the broker makes money when you use your license as an agent to help people buy and sell real estate. In traditional real estate agency, managing brokers charge a percentage of the commission earned by the agent. For example, it's common for a broker to charge 20% of the agent's commissions with a cap at like $20,000 annually. But it's completely negotiable between you and the broker. My advice, if you're getting licensed as an investor and you have no intention of using your license for real estate sales as an agent, then don't go with a big name brand. They will expect you to make sales. Instead, find a small mom and pop brokerage that understands your business model as an investor. For example, I own a real estate brokerage in Detroit, Michigan, and I have a handful of licensed investors, and we've worked out a simple investor-friendly structure that works for both of us. Once you've identified a managing broker to sponsor you, step 4 is to send in to the state all of the necessary paperwork to obtain an active license. Now this fee is around $150 or so. Once you have that, you're officially a licensed real estate agent. So all in to get your license, it's going to cost you approximately $700 to $1,000 in most states, and that's not all of the fees to plan for. Let's discuss 5 different ongoing fees required to maintain an active real estate license. First is any kind of post-licensing education. Now, some states require a one-time additional educational course during the first year as a new licensee. For example, in Illinois, prior to renewing your license the first time, you have to complete a 30-hour course. Now, this class might cost like $100 or so. Next, almost all states require ongoing annual continuing education to stay current with laws and best practices. In the state of Illinois, for example, licensed agents must take 12 hours of approved continuing education every 2 years. This class also costs around $100. And third, let's not forget renewal fees. Most states require you renew your license like every 2 years, and that will cost you typically $150 or so. The fourth fee is a bigger one, and that's errors and omissions insurance, which insures you as an agent in the event you mess up and get sued. Remember, the broker is sponsoring you and is ultimately responsible for your actions as an agent and will require you to have an active policy protecting him or her as the broker. Depending on the volume of sales, coverage, and deductible, this type of insurance is usually $50 to $100 a month or approximately $1,000 a year. The fifth fee we'll discuss is also a big one, and that's a membership to your local multiple listing service, or MLS. Now, this is the #1 benefit to being licensed as an investor, in my opinion, to have access to the MLS. This allows you access to public records, run comps, list properties for sale, and some MLS systems require you join a local board of realtors association as well as pay dues. Now, between board dues and MLS access fees, plan on another $1,000 to $1,200 a year. So let's summarize the fees. To get your license is going to cost you approximately $1,000, and to maintain your license is going to cost you approximately $2,000 a year. And if you're a real estate investor, let me share with you one simple way to cover your licensing fees without having to do real estate sales. If you're licensed, you can receive referral fees from other licensed agents. So as a wholesaler and a flipper, whenever I talk to a seller that does not want a cash offer, but would rather list the home with an agent in hopes of getting a retail buyer for a higher price, I refer those sellers to other agents who pay me 50% of the list fee commission. That means if I refer a seller to an agent who lists and sells a house for, let's say, $200,000 at 3% commission, I would get a $3,000 referral fee from the listing agent. Do that once a year and you just covered the cost of your license. I actually do that several times a year, so that one strategy actually makes me money being licensed, not to mention all of the other benefits. Now, if you'd like to learn more about the benefits of being licensed as an investor, I'll put a link to that video in the description box below where I break it down for you. But guess what? Getting your license won't teach you how to be a better wholesaler. To help you with that, be sure to get my best-selling book, How to Make Money in Real Estate Without Buying, Fixing, or Managing a Single Property. Now, I'll give you an ebook version of this for free. Just click the link in the description below. Hey, thanks for joining me on this video. Leave a comment, let me know if you're a licensed investor and how it's been going for you. If you learned something new, show some love, hit that like button, leave a comment, and let me know your biggest takeaway from this video. I'd love to hear from you. Let me know if you plan on getting your real estate license. I'd love to know that too. And if you haven't yet, be sure to subscribe to my channel. I'm dedicated to helping you make more money in less time wholesaling and flipping houses so you can live your dream life.